Coach, we obviously got the first true road trip for the team this year. First time playing outside of New England, College of Charleston. So I know you wanted to mention that heading into this weekend.
First I'd like to start by our thoughts and our program in general, our players, our coaches, our thoughts and prayers and just in general are with Brandon Weston right now. Brandon has a personal family matter that he's tied in with right now. It's been something that he's having a hard time dealing with. And he won't be a part of our road trip here going to College of Charleston as he gets through that. Hopefully he can rejoin us at some point in time next week, get back to school, and just in general we can start to help him get 2 feet back on the ground and start to feel good again. It's a tough time for he and his family, so we'd like to obviously share our thoughts there and don't want any confusion that Brandon not being with us here this weekend is a surprise to anybody. It's obviously an excused absence, and hopefully we can get him to rejoin us when he's ready. First true road game of the season in terms of going on an airplane, I guess you could say. College of Charleston's a fantastic program. What Pat Kelsey's done down there has been amazing. The energy that they have, their run last year, their season, historic NCAA tournament bid. We're really, at the end of the day, competing to be a top 25 team all year. They got a great style, breakneck pace, three-point shooting, a lot of creativity. And their home arena right now is one of the best venues that you can play in. It's a game that we look at and with the ultimate respect of, how hard it's going to be. And it's an opportunity, though, for us, to prove to ourselves that we can be better than we were a week ago, and in particular the other night against Brown, against a good team. So it's going to be a heck of a test. We got our work cut out for us. In the meantime, we have to make sure that we're doing our part with our progress. We got to continue to grow as a group. And last time out against Brown, I thought that we did some good things in the game. I thought we competed a little bit harder for longer stretches, but at the same time, I thought the will to win, the togetherness, the force that you played with was all on Brown's side. And great performance by them as well. Best they've played all season. It's the team that, I know Coach, I know Mike, hope to see a lot more early in the year, but it's one that hopefully they'll build off of and have a fantastic season in the Ivy, because the way they played, how hard they played, their guys who stepped up in the game, they really looked the part. We knew that coming in. It was going to be just a very difficult game, and so credit to them more so than a knock on us. We're not there yet, and we know that, and I think some humility right now for us, getting some guys kind of locked in on some smaller things and getting better on certain things. You just got to keep growing as we approach this stretch run of non-conference heading into conference play in January.
Just in general, Archie, just going on a road trip, getting on an airplane, going through this routine, is it a helpful thing to go through here?
I mean, you need it. You're getting ready to do it a whole bunch throughout the course of the year. You got to get your road routine. Obviously, had a road game at Prov, which was, just a tremendous, challenge. But traveling, getting out of here. Sometimes the road treats you better just in terms of your togetherness, building camaraderie. It's you against the world, so to speak, but it also gives you guys some clarity getting out of here, buckling down, so to speak, in the bunker at the hotel or whatever you're trying to do. But you can't go on the road with anything other than that mindset of what am I willing to do to be better for our team, and what am I willing to do to help our team, be successful. If there's anything else that's clouding that, you won't be. And I think that's a big thing for our team. As we continue to build our team, our camaraderie and togetherness through tough times, it's probably our greatest weakness. It really is. We're not a team of collective group. We have a group of talented guys, individual guys that all want to contribute and are all trying to find their way. And when a team knocks us on our butt, you can really tell at times. Now, we've responded, positive ways at times before, but just in general, I think the growth of this team, the growth of this program, our staff's concentration is developing the roles, developing a mindset, a standard of how you have to operate, and really truly be about the right things. Not that we're a selfish group. I think we're just a group that continues to try to find our way. We have a lot of guys.
In terms of mindset, you talked a little bit the other night about just how, you didn't feel like you forced enough in terms of turnovers, pressure on Brown.
Yeah.
How do you sort of, instill that when it comes to practice and try to, have that happen a little bit more?
It continues to be about the mindset of a team that, is affected by offense first, defense second. We have to become a team that stabilizes ourselves at all times because we have it intact, that we're playing with great effort, we're playing hard, and we're doing what we're supposed to do. If it's not going to be about that and you're going to let your offense dictate how hard you play, or when you come in the game you're thinking about offense rather than that, you're going to have a team that struggles. The best teams, especially on the road, typically have defense and rebounding in check. Sometimes their offense isn't there, shooting, free throws, turnovers, but their defense, their rebounding, the things that's required to be, game in, night out, right there to compete to win the game has to be on that side. That's what we're trying to develop. That's what we're trying to build. We're trying to teach a group of guys how to play a standard and a style of play defensively, and we're clearly not there yet. But the process doesn't stop. You don't change. You don't go away from things. You can tweak. But I do think that in general, this team has really struggled this year to identify that our defense can be a catalyst for offense. Our defense can be a catalyst for our success. We can have easier opportunities. And the ball pressure, our ability to work on the ball, our ability to cause teams to speed up isn't there. And I think if you look at our numbers through the year, one of the things that's very telling from a defensive standpoint is how long teams have the ball within their possessions. And we're like very, very bottom third in college basketball of the amount of time that the team needs to work to get a shot or has the ball. Sometimes that's a really good thing when you're a team that's not out denying and you're not trying to create tempo. You're trying to be a tough, hard-nosed, man-to-man team that's going to guard straight up, and you're going to rely on help and whatnot. That's a good thing. You're working. The team can't score on you quick. But in our case, with our lack of defensive rebounding power right now and our lack of easy baskets that are being created by the defense to offense, we're really at the mercy of the other team running their best stuff, doing it night in, night out, getting their best players the best looks, getting their rhythm offense, and you're at the mercy of, do they make them that night? We're not the identity, the system, and the ability to impact the game on that side isn't where we want it to be. Not going to stay that way, and we got to continue to strive to be better. And I think we have some individual guys making more of an effort in that regard. But I think it's like you as a player can impact our game and are going to get rewarded with that, not the other end. As much as shooting the ball, offense, turnover, that plays a role. But for us to make a big jump, in all reality, that end gets a little easier if we can become better on defense right now. And, I think game by game, day by day, week by week, we have to continue to show progress.
The opportunity, Coach, after the disappointment of the other night, to have this opportunity to go down there and, make something happen, is it something that you think the guys might be relishing, this chance to have?
I think that's what it should be. I think every opportunity you play is a golden opportunity. And so many teams at some point in time in the season have great breakthroughs. And sometimes great breakthroughs happen with an amazing camaraderie, tough, hard-nosed win on the road. Sometimes that spirits you. It gets you like, wow, what a feeling. And here early in the year, I think we're searching for those breakthrough moments. Maybe Yale in the second half gave us some positive bounce that, hey, man, we're better than maybe we've played. And I thought we competed hard at Providence, but there was a major letdown in the last 8 minutes. Brown didn't play particularly well all game long in certain areas, and Brown had a lot to do with it. We have to teach better, but like when you're going on the road here, if you're reserved, if you have anything out of your mind other than attack, all-out effort, play through whistles, it's not going to work. So I think this is a great opportunity. Every game that we play from this point forward, I don't know if we'll be favored, it'll be 50-50. But the opportunities for us to build confidence and all that stuff is going to come through what we do in practice, and it's going to come from the opportunity to prove in games that you deserve to be out there with your performance. And I think that's what is being relayed right now. This is a performance-based team. This is a team that has to get guys to do what we're asking them to do, and it starts from a defensive side of the ball. Not that offense doesn't need a lot of work either, But the biggest jump that we could possibly make is to clean up 10, 12, 14 points a game in areas we can control.
Coach, I'm curious as to your thoughts on just scheduling right now, especially at the Atlantic 10 level. How
Yep.
important is it to get these home and homes with other, top-heavy conferences?
Yeah, I think Stone. One of the things that's very, very intriguing right now in the world of college basketball, it's about the Power Five with the Big East, partnerships, television, etc., creating the opportunities for the quad ones and the quad twos. When you're in the Atlantic 10 right now and you're building a program like us, you have to find ways to establish year in and year out that you can provide quality games in those quadrants any way you can. College of Charleston is a CAA contender, went to the NCAA tournament a year ago. They're building towards being an at-large bid type of a program. It's a great game for us. It's a game that we can go down there and play a very good opponent, and it's a game that in the year return we're going to get a very good opponent at home. You have to be more creative and maybe some neutral site opportunities. Delaware next weekend, whatever it may be. Delaware's a fantastic team. You have to build your resume the best you can for the team that you have. And as you grow your program and you continue to kind of excel and continue to feel like you have to find more games. And you know what, that may be traveling. That may be getting somebody to travel across, but you got to go across. But you're going to have to bite the bullet at some point in time and say, you know what, Power 5 plus 1, probably not getting them at home right now. We're going to have to find the neutrals. We're going to have to find the MTEs. But in our other opportunities, can we play league champions? Can we play historically league champions in other leagues to build that resume? And I think the Atlantic 10 is doing a really good job in the non-conference. We're a much better league than we were a year ago. So I think sometimes in the conference slate, the games are going to count maybe more than they did a year ago. But yeah, it's harder, and it's getting harder and harder and harder. And with realignment, with 20-game schedules, with television partners, you hope they're not phasing you out in that regard of being able to do it. Now, one thing we're trying to do is stand alone, stand aside, be creative in our scheduling, working with our administration on the bye games that we play. And for us, starting in year 2, 10 new players, whatever, maybe the best thing to do isn't to play 7 true road games. I guess we have to figure out where we're at the stage of our tenure. But the ultimate goal is to build a resume that when you get into conference play, you're in a good situation, and it helped the league be able to play even better games. And if the Atlantic 10 is doing its part all the way around, you're going to be, half a dozen teams positioned to hopefully maybe make that run. But it is becoming way more difficult, and the landscape of college athletics in general, the landscape of college basketball in general, the realignment, there needs to be some consideration in here moving forward what the tournament looks like and how do you get in the tournament, etc. But right now we have to deal with what we can deal with in the front end, and I think as we're positioning ourselves for future deal, everything is in consideration with trying to build that non-conference schedule the best we can, the most challenging we can, and in some cases maybe that's going to require us to do some unorthodox things. But I think games like Yale, games like Charleston, nobody's playing those games home and away in the Power 5 or 6. So these are the type of games that we're going to have to start with and feel good about them, because I think once you come to March, I think on paper, Brown, on paper, Yale, on paper, College of Charleston, they're all going to be in contention for 20-plus wins and have opportunities to win their league.
I'm sensitive to the fact that Josephat just came back and
Yes.
He's still working. I wonder if you or the staff see a point where his minutes could escalate.
Talking to Josephat, one of the most important things that we can do for Josephat is have him available for the games. He is by far and away our most intelligent defender. He's our most gifted mindset guy in terms of understanding. He helps us immensely, just on defense alone. Offensively, he's going to have to work through the kinks. I think everyone knows that. You just don't go out there and look like $1 million. But he's doing a pretty good job in that area too. He has to build his conditioning level to be able to play more minutes. Part of that's going to be very, very intelligently how we work with him in between games and what we do with him in games. But to throw Josephat in here in December and start to say, Joe, you're worthy of 30, he'll break down and won't be available for the rest of the year. He doesn't have that luxury. So today, he's got to work, and we have to work him hard. Tomorrow, that may not be Josephat's day. And we have to accept that as a coach, to have one of our better players available on game day and to give him the best chance he can to build confidence through games, which is the real reason that you'll be able to play better as you get the job done in games, is to continue to maybe build that course. But Josephat on the floor, from a plus-minus standpoint, from a defensive standpoint, and from helping our team, is far outweighs him not being on our team. So I think looking at how Joe performed a year ago, the need that we needed him on game day, and he just sort of crashed. He came back, he loaded up, and he crashed. And I think what we're trying to do here is he had a great build-up. He's now started to participate more, and now he's started to work into the games. And I think now we have to go from game to game and understand where he's at physically. And I think he knows it may be one of those deals where he's 75 minutes a day on the court for 2 days a week. 2 days a week he's just preparing and film and scouting. The one thing I'll tell you about him is he's very practiced, very little, and he's already helping us. So from a mind standpoint, I think the gift that Josephat has is he's cerebral, he's intelligent, and he's mindful of what he has to do. What we have to get Josephat in is very confident and comfortable in a routine that he feels really good on game day, that he's done what he needs to do, and not looking around his shoulder like, man, do I have to go hard again today? Man, I hope I'm not sore for, I think that's where we're at with him. So, but from a positive standpoint, man, couldn't ask more of a guy. And I think we're going to ask him to do a lot more for us as the season goes. And he's helping us. And hopefully he can continue on with this, because I just, you cross your fingers for a guy like him that he has a chance to kind of like experience a full year.
Any final questions for Coach?
You all good there?
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you,
everybody.